Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Hope pleads with Thomas not to let Steffy come between them, and Steffy urges her brother to leave. Today on The Bold and the Beautiful, Hope and Ridge butt heads. Steffy urges Thomas to leave, and Hope makes an appeal to Thomas. All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. At Thomas's place, Steffy implores him to take Douglas and leave to make a life with his son. He won't have that kind of future with Hope. She knew it would break his heart to turn him down, but she did it anyway. She's a Logan, and that's what they do. Look how Brooke treated their father. Where's your pride? Where's your dignity? She asks. Take your son and get away from Hope. Leave her once and for all. At Forrester, Hope tells Ridge there's more to Steffy's upset than her looking out for Thomas. Steffy is using this situation. She complains that she's been agitating from the sidelines since she started seeing Thomas. Ridge thinks his daughter is protecting her brother. She was worried he would get hurt, which, to be fair, is exactly what happened. Brooke interjects that Hope didn't mean to hurt him. Hope is offended by the implication that she was using Thomas and feels this has to do with past resentment. She won't allow this. I'm going to call her on it, and I'm going to continue to call her on it, because I am not Steffy's personal punching bag. Ridge tells Hope that attacking his daughter in front of him was bound to bring about pushback. He doesn't think it's fair. What about Thomas? How do you think he feels right now? That boy loves you. Hope knows. Ridge says he tells her every 5 minutes, it's all he talks about. He wanted to share a life with her, but all she would do is wear his ring around her neck. He's hurting for what she's put his son through. If you've been honest with yourself, what did you want out of this relationship, really? Ridge is worried she thought this was some kind of diversion. Hope insists that's not true. Ridge can't feel bad for her, he's concerned about his boy and what she's done to his life. At Thomas's place, he tells his sister his life is there in LA, and so is Douglas's. Steffy pushes Thomas to leave town and get away from Hope. Thomas says he still loves her, so much. Steffy knows, but as much as it hurts her to say this, Hope's just not going to love you the way you love her. At Thomas's place, he tells his sister his life is there in LA, and so is Douglas's. Steffy pushes Thomas to leave town and get away from Hope. Thomas says he still loves her, so much. Steffy knows, but as much as it hurts her to say this, Hope's just not going to love you the way you love her. At Thomas's place, Steffy tells her brother that if he doesn't wake up and face the truth, things are going to get worse. Douglas will get dragged into it. Thomas doesn't want that. Steffy says, you have to protect him. You have to do what's best for you and your son, so leave. Get out of town now. Thomas assures her that he hears her. Hope takes a work call and tells Brooke and Ridge that she has to talk to Thomas. Ridge grunts that he went home because he was heartbroken about what happened. Steffy walks in and says Hope only wants Thomas on her schedule and her terms. Hope says Thomas loves her, and she loves him. He wants her to be in his life. Steffy's not so sure about that. She tells Hope that her brother's in the design office and wants to talk to her too. Hope slams out after telling Steffy to stay out of her relationship with her brother. Steffy tells Brooke and Ridge that she's in for a rude awakening. In the design office, Thomas says into the phone, yeah. Tell him I'll explain when he gets here. He disconnects, sighs, and flashes through his romance with Hope. He hears Steffy in his mind, telling him to end it with Hope once and for all. Hope enters and says, Thomas, I feel terrible. She knows that Steffy's talked to him. Please don't listen to her. She's trying to come between us. She's playing that Forrester versus Logan card. Please don't let her do it. In the main office, Steffy confirms by phone that the jet is ready to go if need be. Brooke asks what she meant that Hope might be in for a rude awakening. Steffy says, just a feeling. She thought Brooke would be happy about it, she's been against their relationship from the beginning. Ridge says she's been coming around. Brooke thinks it's Hope's decision, not Steffy's. Steffy gets it, she's her mom and a Logan, and is going to protect Hope. Brooke says that whatever Hope decides is what will happen. Steffy thinks it's over for them. Brooke wonders why she's so certain. I think we should let them work this out on their own. Otherwise, I feel like there's some kind of vendetta you have against my daughter. In the design office, Hope knows that Thomas loves his sister, and she loves him. She claims that she's trying to help him, but she's trying to turn it into something it's not. This is about them and no one else. There have been so many people opposed to their relationship and they never let it stop them, they shouldn't now. Thomas recaps that he proposed, again, and she turned him down, again. Hope is trying to process her divorce. Hope's also trying to focus on the kids, who have been through so many huge adjustments. Just because she didn't say yes, doesn't mean she doesn't want a life with him. I doesn't mean that I don't want to make love to you. We have something special. You make me feel a way that I've never felt with any other man before, Thomas. I feel appreciated. I feel seen, and that's because of you. She is so lucky to be the woman he loves. She pleads with him not to let Steffy undermine them. I love you, and I don't want to lose you. Next on The Bold and the Beautiful, Brooke and Steffy battle over Hope and Thomas, and Hope is stunned when Thomas announces a life-changing decision. In the twilight hours, with the amber glow of the setting sun casting long shadows across the quaint suburban street, a quiet tension lingered in the air. Hope stood on the doorstep of her childhood home, her heart heavy with apprehension. She knew she had to speak to Thomas, to implore him not to let Steffy come between them. Thomas emerged from the shadows, his silhouette etched against the fading light. His brow furrowed with concern as he approached Hope. Hope, what's wrong? He asked, his voice tinged with worry. Hope took a deep breath, summoning the courage to express the tumult of emotion swirling within her. Thomas, I need to talk to you, she began, her voice soft yet resolute. It's about Steffy. I fear she's trying to drive a wedge between us. Thomas's eyes widened in surprise. Steffy? But why would you think that? Hope gazed earnestly into Thomas's eyes, her own eyes pleading for understanding. I've noticed the way she looks at you, Thomas. It's not just sisterly concern. There's something more, something unsettling. I'm afraid she's manipulating you, trying to pull you away from me. Thomas shook his head, a mixture of disbelief and defiance in his expression. No, Hope, you're mistaken. Steffy would never do that. She's my sister, she cares about me. Hope reached out, gently taking Thomas's hand in hers, her touch a silent plea for him to see reason. I'm not saying she doesn't care about you, Thomas. But sometimes even the people we love can lead us astray without even realizing it. Please, don't let her come between us. Our love is too precious to let anyone, even family, tear us apart. Thomas sighed, torn between his loyalty to his sister and his love for Hope. He knew she spoke from the depths of her heart, and yet, the bond with his sister was a powerful force in his life. I need some time to think, Hope, he murmured, his voice laden with uncertainty. I promise I'll consider what you've said. Hope nodded, a flicker of hope igniting in her heart. Thank you, Thomas. Just promise me you'll listen to your own instincts, not let anyone sway you from what you know is right. As Thomas retreated into the depths of the house, Hope watched him go, a knot of worry still coiled tightly in her chest. She could only hope that her words had reached him, that he would heed her warning before it was too late. Meanwhile, inside the house, Steffy paced the living room, her mind consumed with urgency. She knew she had to convince her brother to leave, to distance himself from Hope before it was too late. Liam, her husband, watched her with concern etched into his features. Steffy, what's wrong? You seem agitated. Steffy stopped pacing, turning to face Liam with a determined expression. Liam, I need your help. Thomas is in danger, and he doesn't even realize it. Liam furrowed his brow, confusion mingling with concern. What do you mean, danger? Is he okay? Steffi took a deep breath, steeling herself for the difficult conversation ahead. It's Hope, Liam. She's not good for him. She's manipulative, controlling, she'll only end up hurting him in the end. Liam's eyes widened in surprise, disbelief coloring his features. Steffi, that's a serious accusation. Are you sure you're not just seeing things? Steffi shook her head, her resolve unwavering. I know what I'm talking about, Liam. I've seen the way she looks at him, the way she tries to pull him away from his family. Thomas deserves better than that. He deserves to be free from her toxic influence. Liam sighed, running a hand through his hair in frustration. I don't know, Steffi. This seems like a lot to take in all at once. Are you sure you're not just overreacting? Steffi's gaze hardened, her determination burning brighter than ever. I'm not overreacting, Liam. I'm trying to protect my brother from making a huge mistake. Please, you have to help me convince him to leave. Before it's too late. Liam hesitated, torn between his loyalty to his wife and his desire to see his brother-in-law happy. Finally, he nodded, albeit reluctantly. Okay, Steffi. I'll talk to Thomas. But I can't promise anything. Ultimately, it's his decision. Steffi nodded, gratitude shining in her eyes. Thank you, Liam. That's all I ask. As Liam made his way upstairs to find Thomas, Steffi sank onto the couch, her heart heavy with worry. She could only hope that her brother would listen to reason before it was too late, before Hope's influence tore their family apart. In the quiet of the night, with the stars twinkling overhead and the world bathed in moonlight, Hope and Steffi's fates hung in the balance, intertwined by love, loyalty, and the delicate threads of fate. Only time would tell whose pleas would be heard, and whose cries would be drowned out by the tumultuous tide of destiny.